Well, I'm David Haley, state senator from representing Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas, going into 25 years, quarter century, if you want to look at it like that, and looking at some of the issues that are endemic to the black community, especially that wherever we live, if it's Kansas, Missouri, DC, Atlanta, anywhere in this country, are issues that we have to confront. These socioeconomic issues are not drawn geopolitically. They come historically from what our system has shown us, a system from which we've emerged still scarred and from which we need to recover. So for me, at this point in time, I look at prison reform. I look at educational opportunities, some of which lend their way to vocational opportunities, where we will have tradespersons to emerge for those who may not pursue academic paths, but who still could have good careers. When it comes to prison reform, we see too often our system disproportionately incarcerates people because they are either unable to afford bail or unable to afford effective assistance of counsel, and sometimes because they purely did not do the crime, but someone's looking for someone to hold that responsibility. Wrongful incarceration has become a major topic for me, and interestingly enough, no matter where you find yourself on the political spectrum, from ultra-conservative, that being the Koch brothers, primarily out of Wichita, Kansas, to Mr. Soros and the Soros Foundation, which has been a liberal think tank, smart justice and criminal justice reform has met favor with both of them. And they've merged to look at how we can better make our society reflective of those criminal justice reforms. And out of this has emerged through the insistence of the Innocence Project, in conjunction with an advocate, civil rights advocate, a friend of mine, Alvin Sykes. We introduced a bill this year that would be the first of its kind in the country. It's called the DNA closed case measure. DNA, as we know, is something that's applied to open cases where you have a bit of DNA and then you have some evidence, fact evidence put together. The DNA closed cases now would have that DNA applied to it. So we may have somebody who's actually already convicted of a particular crime who may be serving in that capacity in one of our state or prisons or jails, but when that DNA hit is applied, it would show the new evidence that indeed they may not be culpable for the crime. It's a novel approach. It's one I've been pushing. We had a hearing on it. It's Senate Bill 102 in the Kansas legislature, KSLEGISLATURE.org, kansaslegislature.org, and Senate Bill 102 was not worked to final action. So we now have to take a back seat and wait for some other state or some other mechanism to pass this bill. It's become a passion of mine this year in 2019 as we look toward criminal justice reform, as we look to ensuring that the person that does the crime does the time and not someone who they pick to do that. This is a fail-safe. It's foolproof to implement, but the powers that be who systemically have brought us to this point where so often we are disproportionately prosecuted and or incarcerated or sadly still on our streets pinned out and killed for simply being black is something that we hope that we can see addressed very soon. And I appreciate this opportunity to speak to that bill, Senate Bill 102 in Kansas, and other issues that will make us a freer and more just society.